In this video, I want to introduce you to Luca, who went from less than 10 listeners to literally hundreds and then to thousands of listeners using the Spotify growth switch in just a month. Hey, it's John here at Hyped It, and I'm super excited to be introducing you to Luca today. Luca is an amazing music artist. He lives actually almost on the other side of the world from where I'm right now. And Luca reached out a couple days ago with an amazing success story that started when he got into Facebook and Instagram ads for his music using some of the Hyped It ad automation tools. And literally grew from less than 10 listeners, I think, when we first met Luca and welcomed him into our community, to then hundreds of listeners, then thousands of listeners. And it's been an amazing journey and so exciting to see what he's done with his music. So I thought it's an amazing opportunity to invite Luca where he can share his journey and inspire you and show you this is possible and you can do this for your music. Luca, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Luca, I'm just curious, before you started working with the ad automation tools and the Spotify growth switch, what did music promotion look like for you? Or what did you do in order to get your music out there? What were your biggest struggles with your music back then?
Yeah, I would say like my biggest struggle definitely with delivering music was basically me. And that all started with just first understanding the passion behind it and that there is something there that I can share with people. And in most cases, I was even not allowing myself to share something with people. But at some point I was thinking like, let's just try ads, right? And I went into Facebook and Instagram ads. I spent like 100 euros here and there, but literally no result or anything. And then a friend sent me your video and I was like, okay, this is the sign. I'm just gonna follow it. And I just went with it. And I would say like the biggest struggle being not even knowing how to set up the ads or not even having the audacity to kind of, go more into depth and learn it. I was like, I'm just gonna, put that aside and let it to go with professionals, right? And I feel like I got that, especially with you guys and just the first kickoff conversation and building up the whole structure of the ads and pixels and stuff like that. I didn't have to think anything about that. And for me, that was, focusing on what matters. And for me, that's creating music.
Got it. Awesome. And what would you say was right at that time that pushed you over that hurdle to get started on that journey with the music automation, with the Spotify growth switch? What was the ultimate trigger that got you going and said, this is going to be the thing that I want to do?
I would say that push towards actually going towards the ads was just seeing that there must be a potential to reach people with the music, right? I feel like, it's narrow window just to start organically, especially when you're, no one and nobody knows who you are or what you're doing. I feel like there needs to be a point where you just have to see if there's even interest in that. And for me, this was more like experimental thing, seeing like let's see what happens. And I feel like this approach always led me to very beautiful things because I'm curious by nature, and I feel like that also brought me to you, just pure curiosity. And I was like, let's just see, let's try, and if it makes sense, I'm gonna keep it on. If it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna try something different. But as I said, I feel like the beginning of the whole story of music and just developing what I want to share with people, as I am clearer, so is the music clearer, so is the result clearer. So I feel like there needs to be this step of first even discovering who am I as a musician, right? And then afterwards, I think ads make a lot of sense when you're trying to reach a specific group of people.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Now, you went on this journey by yourself, right? You took it onto yourself to promote your music. You didn't give it to a playlist curator and said, hey, do whatever you want with my music. You didn't give it to a promotion agency that you guys do whatever you want with it. You took ownership of it and of the success that you wanted to build for yourself. So I'm curious, how easy or how difficult did you experience the journey going from where you started to where you're right now? Was it a very challenging process? Was it a very easy process? How did it play out for you?
I would say like the whole challenge of beginning and being now where I am, it's something that's as I said before, I feel like curiosity plays a big part. And even though you did the setup of whole ads and stuff like that, I was like regularly first 2 weeks going back to Hyped It and just watching more about like which ads are performing better and then trying different ones based on my ideas. But as I said, like the whole tool that you gave is super simple because I'm just literally clicking like 5 steps and I'm done. And for me, that's kind of bringing more attention to seeing, okay, the click-through rate and stuff like that, and how much am I spending on ad sets and stuff like that. And then from there, focusing more onto, okay, seeing this song is performing good, let's put that. And just the thing that you said in the first conversation that we had, and that was building a playlist. And then when people come and listen one song, if they like, they'll continue listening. I feel like for me, that was the biggest value, because literally, like when somebody comes to a song, they listen to all of the songs on the playlist. And this is something that I feel like it's not just bumping, one song, but it's also building up a whole structure of followers that are then interested into a music, right? And then they go to a profile, then they follow. So I feel like the whole structure behind the, creating a playlist, putting everything there, and then bringing up, just the core of the music there.
I couldn't agree more. It's really about attracting those fans that come with curiosity and are ready to engage and then do it and stick with your music. And you shared some of the stats on your playlist with me earlier, and you are getting an amazing multiple, right? The listeners really don't come just for one song. They don't come for 2, they don't come for 3. No, they stay on the playlist and stream one song after another. And that's why the streams grow so quickly. So that's amazing. Let's talk about results then real quick. So what were your results when you got started, and what are your results today?
I feel like that's just out of my imagination. I started with an idea that I want to reach with one song's 11,000 listeners. That was my goal, because I knew like my stats, everything was zeros and ones and, just basically starting. And back there, that was the beginning of the August. And now it's like 2 months later, I think I have like 40,000, 45,000 streams in 2 months, which is just amazing. And not, as I said before, not that I just promoted one song, but I feel like every song is being picked up by this one song. So I feel like it's a very nice structure to follow, and especially like with the AI tool that you're kind of putting into the Hyped It software, where basically ads are being delivered less cost but more people, And then when I see like literally my songs have a click-through rate, I think like it's 30 cents, something like that, which is something that I never could have achieved by my own. I think my click-through rate was, I think, like $2-3. And even though that's still good in the industry, right? I feel like 30 cents per click, it's something that's worth actually paying for.
Yeah, awesome. I'm amazing to hear the growth, and that you had a goal of 11,000 and you far exceeded this. So that's exciting. We're celebrating. Now, for anybody watching this and working on campaigns and maybe struggling getting their music off the ground, what would be the most exciting tips or the most important tips that you discovered along your journey that you would want to share with other independent music artists that might be in a similar situation?
So whoever is like in the same position I was and is kind of struggling to reach out the potential fans, I would say first comes me. And I feel like that's the lesson I learned in like the whole, this year was mostly like going through that lesson. And it's just like, what do I want to tell to people? That's the first thing. And then actually, am I living like that? If that's the case, right, then that's something that I would actually like to share. And if I have an ability to share that with people, especially music is a super medium to share that type of thing, right? I feel like it's an opportunity to just be who you are, right? And I think that's the main point here where things actually took off, because I was just being me. For me, like music is just my thing. And like I've been doing music for 25 years, and in past 4 years, I've been starting to put it out. I have tons and tons of music, but as I said, like it's something personal. And I want to be sure that I'm putting my whole love into that first, and then everything else follows. So I feel like even though, I reach maybe not millions and millions of people at the point, I feel like the main point is just to stay true to what I am, and then the people that want to listen, that will come, right? And I would say that's probably the way I would go. I would just follow by heart, not even thinking about people, not even thinking about reaching anybody. It's just, this is what I would do if nobody is on the earth. Like, no compromises. I would do music every day without fans or with fans.
I love it. Yeah, no, I feel your passion. If you think about what you actually did, like tactically, in order to target an audience on Facebook and Instagram and bring them over to your music, and I know you have multiple songs out, are there any particular lessons about the execution and the way you actually ran your campaigns that you think are aha moments where you're like, oh, I didn't think this would work, or amazing to see that do so well for me? That would be good tips or tricks to share?
As a part of a tactical advice for the ads and the whole structure and hype, that I honestly didn't change anything except the groups, in a sense, like who are the artists that are kind of influencing or kind of behind the feeling of the song, right? And for me, that was then just observing the results, because when you pay for ads, you get like impressions and stuff like that. And then I was picking that up and trying to match with different artists. So I was mainly focusing on trying to discover which artists are in the same vibe or the feeling that I have, and then trying to put those as groups that are to be targeted, right? And from there is just exploring more and seeing what is actually the results, right? So I would say just, trying different things as much as possible, especially in the beginning, and seeing what provides the best click-through results. And not just that, but also who stays and listens to that song.
That sounds good. So did you launch your campaign with a set of targeting interests, and then that's the campaign you ran the entire time? Or did you update that campaign with different sound-alike artists and different interests in order to hone in on your audience over time?
So what I would do for the audience and for the targeting, usually I would do a simple setup of one ad, right? And then I would duplicate that and just try to put it in different groups, like different sound-alike artists, and then seeing what performs the best. And this is for me, I would say a week thing, just testing out. And then when I see something's working, I would leave that ad for 30 days or more. Like, I think some of the ads are still running for 60 days. And as I said, like the click-through rate, as long as it's below 50 cents, I would say like that's a good thing.
Got it. Okay, cool. So if I understand it correctly, you created a campaign inside Hyped, and then you made 2 duplicates of it. And with those 2 duplicates, you tested different audiences, you tested different sound-alike artists and interests. And then you watched all of these campaigns to see which one is the winner, and that's the one that you continued with. Do I get that right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, as you said, I would just duplicate the ads and see what works the best. And then if maybe it's a combination of 3 ads, I would do a 4th one and then put all the interest there and run that ad. And it usually seems like it's a good result.
Got it. So you go into the 3 campaigns, look up the analytics to see which ones are the best performing interests, and then combine those in a 4th campaign, which now combines all your super interests, so to speak, and run with that. I love it. Awesome. No, that's a great tip and great advice to share. Love it. Now, Luca, anybody who's interested in hearing your music, learning more about your music, where can they go? And, obviously we're going to link to your Spotify right below the video, so anybody can click there. But do you want to share a little bit about your music and where you're putting it out and where fans can find you?
Yeah, about me and my music, just briefly, I feel like I'm in a very, very nice adventure, just exploring myself through the music, because this is initially how I started with music, right? Exploring my emotional side, which was more like thinking about things, and then music kind of brought everything together, where it was just like, okay, I feel things, right? And for me, it's really like a healing part of conversation with me and the guitar. And I feel like that whole journey just brings more space into my living with going more easy, more with the flow. And I feel like that's the music I'm also building. So if anybody's interested, I feel like, Spotify is the way to go. I'm building primarily Spotify and then also Instagram. Hopefully we put the link because I have a surname, Croatian surname Radikovic. So yeah, hopefully just click on the link below if you're interested and listen to what I'm saying. And if you're interested, stay there and follow for more.
Love it. Definitely do that. Go check out Luca's music. It is awesome. And it's been just an amazing journey to see you grow, Luca, and see what you're doing with your music. I love the way you're using the tool and you are taking the strategy that you picked up in the Spotify Growth Switch and you're modifying it to your own benefit, testing these different campaigns, taking the best audiences, combining them in a fourth campaign. I think it's an amazing way to grow and beat your own results and keep the growth going. So amazing success. I wish you the best of luck with your music. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, to sharing your story. And I can't wait to see where it takes you. And I'm sure that trajectory continues to go up.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, as I said. And honestly, thank you for kind of just putting the tool out, because I feel like for me that was a stepping stone to actually share the music. So I'm super grateful and I could not recommend this more.
Awesome. Luca, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Want to get your music heard on Spotify with AI? I just launched a brand new video training program called the Spotify Growth Switch, where I show you how to start growing real listeners, real fans, and real streams on Spotify in less than 10 minutes using software and AI. I've used the Spotify Growth Switch system to now grow my music to over 7 million streams and tens of thousands of monthly listeners on Spotify. This works for any music genre. It gets you real fans and listeners super fast, and it's extremely easy to set up, literally just like flipping a spotlight switch for your music. Despite using AI, you don't need to know nothing about tech stuff in order to be successful with this. I've had the tremendous privilege of helping multiple tens of thousands of music artists grow their music on Spotify, many of which have grown to much larger numbers, lots more listeners, lots more streams than I have using the systems that I've taught. Makes me so proud of their success. And so if you want to get more real listeners, real fans, and real streams for your music fast using state-of-the-art software and AI, then click the link below this video and check out the Spotify Growth Switch. I can't wait to help you grow your music on Spotify, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.